Okay, so a lot of talk recently about Trump, the Fed, and Jerome Powell, but not a lot of good explainers, so I'm going to give it a shot. There's a 12-member body at the Fed that votes every 6 weeks or so to lower, keep the same, or raise interest rates. When they vote to raise interest rates, it typically makes it more expensive on your interest rate for things like your mortgage, your car loan, and your credit card bill. When they vote to lower interest rates, it typically has the opposite effect. When interest rates are lower, more people are borrowing money, more people are spending money, which tends to be good for the growth of the economy, the stock market, etc. So why would you ever increase interest rates? The Fed and that 12-member body are supposed to be looking at objective data to try to avoid inflation that becomes out of control. They put the number of a healthy inflation at 2% year over year. That is their own goal. That, again, is based on objective data. Donald Trump does not care about that objective data. His focus is growing the economy at all costs so that he can take credit for his economic agenda and his moves on doing it. So he has very, very publicly called for Jerome Powell's firing because Jerome Powell has not lowered interest rates as fast as Donald Trump would like. Why is Jerome Powell so concerned? Because the data shows that we are actually closer to 2.5% or so year over year inflation. And again, if they vote to lower it too quickly, we could have runaway inflation, that all of the things that we are paying for right now, like groceries, could go up very quickly. So he is continuing to focus on this objective data to determine it. Donald Trump is pressuring him to lower it at all costs. That 12-person body also has a vacancy, and Donald Trump is appointing one of his people who have pressured Jerome Powell publicly to join that 12-person body. So Trump is pressuring at all sides on Jerome Powell to lower interest rates, regardless of the fact that they are not at their 2% target. This is what we need to watch very closely. And today, Jerome Powell announced that he may see an environment for the first time to lower interest rates. Again, despite the fact that the data shows that we are not at their 2% target. Do I think that Jerome Powell is responding to Trump's pressure? I don't know yet, but I do know that this should all be nonpartisan. This should be based on objective data. One of the other concerns is that one of the pieces of data they look at for inflation is produced by the agency, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that Trump fired because he said that that wasn't accurate, which has absolutely no basis. These are the things that we need to stay laser focused on. This should not be a partisan thing. And if Trump pressures and the Fed votes and lowers interest rates too early, all of us could be paying a lot more for things like groceries and all of the other things that hit our bottom line. So let's stay tuned.